It's Beth, owner of Homegrown Fitness. Thank you so much for tuning in again on another podcast. Today, my guest speaker is Becky. She is the owner of Main Course here in Oconto Falls on our main street, and she offers healthy meals on the go, and her intentions are just phenomenal, and what she's done for the community has been great. And how long have you had the business so far?
It's almost 4 months now.
4 months. And just the word of mouth has been phenomenal about what she has done. And I have a few clients that have been utilizing her services. But I would love to learn more about how this business came about. Like, what was your driver? And then she can kind of give us a little introduction as well.
Well, it started a while back. I used to live in California. That's where I actually found my love of food. I was a manager at a casino for a restaurant, and I opened an Asian restaurant at that casino too. And the tasting of all the different cuisines from all different parts of the world was amazing. I'm probably
like my cup of tea.
Very typical Midwestern girl growing up on a farm. So it was meat and potatoes, vegetables, your canned foods, you had the meat from your animals. So that's all we ate. So I don't even think I had a bagel until I was in my 20s, which is, I know it sounds crazy, but that's the way it was. So when I went out to California, the food was just so good, and they prepared it in so many different ways. So I learned a ton. When I moved back here, I started working for a couple of people because we had to find jobs. And then we both were managing restaurants, my husband and I, and it just seemed like the right place to go was buying a business. So we found a bar in New Glarus, Wisconsin, and we ran that for about 7 years. And then my daughter decided she was going to keep having grandchildren, and New Glarus was way too far away for me to see my grandchildren. So by the grace of God, we found an absolutely beautiful property just outside of Oconto Falls. So we settled here. My husband worked at the hospital, and I continued to find a job that I would like. But when you own your own business, it is really hard to work for anybody again.
It is, yeah.
So I just started reaching out to different places on Main Street to find a building. Nothing worked out for probably close to 2 years until this building became vacant. So we just started. I guess my dream, I didn't know what my dream was going to be when I started this place. I felt like God was really pushing me towards making food for people, because that's really where I found my joy. It's really hard when you don't find joy in what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So, and I enjoy feeding people. I enjoy seeing a smile on people's faces when they eat. It's silly, but it makes me feel so good. It's really evolving here. I don't know actually where it's going to end up, but I like being able to help people out. I like it when people come in and tell me their stories, whether it's their story of losing weight because they're eating the meals, or eating more salads now. It makes me feel so good.
Right. So you've created healthy meals on the go. Let's talk about that. I would love to learn more about how it works. I have some clients that are utilizing her services right now and had tremendous results because, she's on the go. She has a young child in sports. And, when you live a lifestyle on the go, it is hard to set aside time to meal plan and prep because it takes a lot. Once you learn it, it gets a little bit faster and how to implement it more. But when you first get started, it takes a lot of time. You're spending time in your kitchen, and you don't always want to be in your kitchen. Now with the warmer weather, it's getting difficult. People want to get outside. They want to run around. They want to do more activities. They want to get out of their house. So like utilizing your services is going to be great for them if they don't want to designate that time right now and utilize that time more family orientated where they're being outside.
Yes.
So kind of describe your healthy meals on the go. How does that go?
One client who I make food for right now, I try to make some very nice, healthy, tasty meals so that she doesn't feel like she's losing out. Because
it's all about flavor and taste.
It's all about flavor and taste. Sorry, if you're going to try to lose weight, you have to still have taste.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take away everything. So she currently gets two meals a week for her family, and she loves it. It saves on her time going to the grocery store. It saves on her time prepping meals, and her family is loving it also.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to her actually this morning just to kind of get a little idea on how it benefits her. I didn't want to say anything that was, incorrect, but like this week she was very busy. So actually she ate all her meals, lunch and dinner for her family through the main course. And so I asked her, how does that compare to going to the grocery store cost wise?
Yeah.
And she said it was maybe a little bit more, but not much. But the time I saved was the most important for her because they're very much on the go. And the other,
what's great is all of your meals are home prepared.
Yes. Yeah. Nothing's processed. Nothing's been sitting around for, ever on the shelf. So it's
fresh pickup.
Yes. Yes. So the goal is to find a few more people who would like that service. I did actually add another couple to the service last week. We're going to do 4 meals a week, which is awesome. So I just looking for a few more people who would like that service, and I can help them out.
Mm-hmm. You also offer Meals on Wheels.
Yes.
For the community.
Yes.
So where do your Meals on Wheels go? How does that work? And what meal do you offer? Is the meal different every time?
I never knew anything about Meals on Wheels before starting here. I feel like Meals on Wheels for us was a blessing because when you're starting a new business, to have that constant little bit of revenue coming in and knowing it's coming in. So that was definitely a blessing from God for me.
Yeah.
But it also, I feel, is a blessing to other people. We make their food fresh. It's not processed. It's, they get a fresh meal Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Some people get it delivered. Some people pick up. Some people come in and eat, which I'm trying to get the word out that more people go there to eat because it's a great way for them to socialize. So, get a group of ladies together, come and have a meal.
Get them out of the house.
Yes. All they ask is for a donation of $5. And if you don't have $5, you can still eat as long as you're signed up for it. It's just a fabulous opportunity for people in Oconto Falls. Yeah. We do not do all of Oconto. There's another in Mountain. There's another source that they get food from. But there's a lady that calls the manager of Meals on Wheels and is so thankful for the food because she's like, ever since I've been getting this, I feel so much better. Mm-hmm. The meals are fresh. We get salads sometimes. We get these great soups, and it just makes my heart feel so good that I'm helping these people. I know it's in a small way, but it just makes me happy.
Well, and it's definitely the word of mouth too from those individuals that travels and carries, that brings people into your restaurant. And this has only been 4 months worth. And look at how many lives that you've already connected and changed. I think that's awesome. You kind of were talking about how this is your drive and this is your passion. Do you think a lot of it stemmed from when you were in the casino and you got to try all those different foods?
Yes, it did.
I would have been in heaven. I'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing. All these different flavors. And it's cool because you can bring that,
Yes.
like that's California. You can bring that to our small town and bring that into your store shop here and create those healthy meals and like share what you tasted with all these other individuals that never really have left the area.
Yes. No, it was so much fun when you worked in the restaurants because whatever they had, you got to taste. You know, they would every day, you know, before you start your service, you know, they set everything out that's new and you just got to taste everything. And especially at the Asian restaurant because it was a fusion.
Ooh.
So it was delicious. I wish we can't do a walk here, so we can't, you know, make some of those meals yet. Our goal is to be able to do some of that stuff in the future.
Yeah.
But I just never knew how much I loved food until then. I mean, honestly, I didn't.
What was what brought you to California? Was it restaurant business?
It was, yes, starting something new. My husband at that time wanted to move there, and you know, so I supported him. It was the best move I ever did because it took me away from my family.
Yeah,
I had to be independent and do for myself. You know, I couldn't call my mom up or my sister and say, hey, you know, can you help me out with this?
Right.
You know, or if something went wrong, you know, you had to figure it out. So it was the best move I ever made because I think it made me more of an independent woman.
Right. When you guys moved back, you were New Glarus, you said. Was it just right in town there and you owned the bar? What were some of your experiences owning a bar? And what did that, you know, what did you learn from owning a bar to apply to this? Because this is different. This is different. The social side of things, you get to socialize with your customers coming in, but it's definitely different than a bar.
Well, what I learned from the bar, and sorry everybody who wants me to open on Friday, but it's 7 days a week. It is from 8 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock at night. And I just know I didn't want to go back to that. But I did learn from owning the bar that people like my food.
Yeah, that's awesome. Were you the cook, I'm assuming, at the bar too?
Yeah, you know, so that's where I actually started to actually really cook. And found that I loved doing it and I loved serving people the food because, you know, they just loved it and, you know, it was fun. But that's why
it is an art. I believe cooking is an art.
But that's why I believe that's why I'm only open 4 days a week. I don't want to go back to my whole life revolving around the business because
and you can't because since you've moved here, she also has a homestead, you guys. And she was telling me about this prior to it. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So share your homestead because she milks her own cows and you have two.
I have 2 cows and I have a steer that's called Num Num.
Yeah, I just love it.
Yeah, I had to give him a nice name. So so they have good lives though.
Yes.
But my homestead, I have horses. I have some donkeys. I have 2 cows right now and a steer. I have chickens, a couple of German shepherds, and I also have cats. And it is actually what keeps me going every day. I remember like in the past before, you know, I moved out here and got all the animals, you know, you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to get up. But now it's like, all right, I got to get up because you have to go outside and feed. You're responsible for someone getting their food and water and making sure they're healthy. So my animals have taken place of my kids.
Plus, you grew up on a farm.
Yeah, and I grew up on a farm.
So you probably miss just like that lifestyle too of waking up, having the chores, and maybe not the chores, but like the duties to go and see the animals because they're part of your family, and like they just grow on you. Like I would love to. I'm saying that emphasize to have just like a little homestead like that, and sometime in my life I might.
Yes,
maybe not this lifetime, but I definitely enjoy hearing about the relationships that people have with their animals because they are part of their family.
Oh, yes.
And when you tell me that you milk your own cow and you drink that, I'm just like, that tastes like that.
Yes.
Probably tastes delicious.
So much better.
Because I've heard a lot about the difference between drinking out of the bulk tank or drinking from the cow versus buying whole milk out of a store. And we're a whole milk drinker family. Like, I love whole milk. I like the thickness of it, and the fat content is good for us. It's the calcium content is great for us, where when you start drifting into some of the skim milk, obviously, I understand like people need that if they don't want to have all those calories, but in all reality, whole milk is lower in sugars than when you start getting into the 2% to the 1% to the skim milk, because of the filtration process of it. And where your cows that you milk, you were explaining the nutrients that comes with that. Explain that. Because I think it's so unique. I love it.
I have Guernseys, and they're A2 Guernseys. So, which that means on regular cows, they're A2 A1s. And when they're A1s, that means it lacks a certain nutrient that makes it so you can digest milk. So on an A2 cow, it has both lactose and lactase. Don't quote me on all this, guys. But when you say that you can't have milk because you're lactose intolerant, it's because the milk you're drinking does not have lactase in it. When you have both of them, that's what helps you digest the milk. And our cows actually are high in beta carotene, which is, a wonderful nutrient for you. So, I can have milk, I can have cream, I can make butter,
She also makes her own butter.
Yeah. And it's really, really good in comparison. And the great thing about making your own butter, you can add as much salt in or no salt at all. And it still tastes wonderful. But there's so much you can do. And if you're ever wasting milk, it's great for fertilizer.
Right.
So if I have extra milk, I just fertilize. I give it to my dogs. My dogs love it.
Oh, yeah.
My cats love it. The chickens, when I have milk for the chickens, you should see the eggs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They are hard as a rock, the shells. It's just wonderful. So, yeah, we actually call it my crazy farm. It is a little bit crazy. It is a lot of work, but it's, also my exercise, because you're lifting bales, you're, walking the dogs, you have to groom your horses. So it's, for me, it's how I get my exercise.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, chores are exercise.
Yeah.
Just like I tell my clients, like if you're cleaning your house and that's your daily duty for the day, I mean, you're going to be sweating and burning, because if you clean like I clean, like I am not just hitting one spot. I am targeting the whole section, and I'm probably going to sanitize as much as possible, because I got a bunch of little ones in my house. So it's like they like to touch things, and after you clean it, that's where their hands go. Yeah. So, do you ride your horses? Do you ride them, or are they just more for therapy sessions?
More for therapy now. Cowboy is approximately 25. He's a little arthritic, so he just gets to enjoy life now. But he's a wonderful gentleman. He is definitely a gentleman as a horse. And then we have Monty. Monty is 2 years old, so he's not old enough to ride. So we're just actually kind of training him. I actually just had the farrier out, and he lifts his front feet really well now. Good. So now we're working on the backs. But it really is therapy and patience, because with any animal, you can't push them to do what you want to do. You have to take the time that they understand. Yes. And so for me, one other thing that it has helped me with having animals, I used to have really bad anxiety. But being around the animals, it calms me down. It slows my brain down, because you have to focus on them, because, they're 2,000 pounds. So you can't be thinking of what I have to do tomorrow. Right. Or what's happening, here.
You're being in that present moment.
Yeah, you have to be present. So it's really helped with my anxiety that I used to have.
That's awesome. Would you feel like that emotion, does it drift into here since the animals?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, like everybody experiences some form of anxiety, but it's probably a lot more controlled when you're working with the horses and cows because milking is probably very calming. I don't know.
It is, but I found it so funny. Milking a cow in the wintertime, you think, God, it must be freezing.
Right.
It is so warm.
Oh, really?
The cows produce so much heat,
Yeah.
and then you get the heat from the milk on your hands. Yeah. It is so warm. But then if you milk in the summertime, it's so hot.
Yeah.
Just
get
like
that fan blowing.
It's like, oh my gosh.
So she has 2 cows that you're currently milking, but they alternate, right? So this cow coming up is going to be due in June, you said? Okay. Yeah. And do you keep the calf then? Or how does that generally work?
Well, I've only been doing this for about a year and a half now.
Okay.
I'm not milking the 2 right now. One I will be milking when she freshens. It'll be her first time she has a calf. And the other one is still a heifer, but I'm looking to breed her in the next month or so. Okay. But yes, I do keep them. I keep them for meat. I also keep them just for rotate, because a cow's life is certain length. Yeah. So sadly to say, but I kind of rotate out the cow. My plan is to rotate out the cows, and if I don't have to, I'll probably sell if they're a cow. But that's kind of see how it goes. Yeah. Because I have a really hard time letting them go. You
might be there for a long time. You might be like 10 or 12 cows and be like, I can't get rid of any of these.
But I like knowing where my meat comes from. Yeah. I like knowing where the milk comes from, the eggs, I garden also. I love to garden and have, fresh fruit and vegetables. We planted lots of berry bushes. We have all different kinds. We have all different kinds of fruit trees. They're still little because I just started doing this a couple years ago. But, in the future, it's just going to be fantastic.
Yeah. And it's great because with that background and that mindset, like everything's fresh. You really have brought that into this business and to be able to share freshness and homesteading, homemade meals to the community. People need that because I look at our community today. We're always on the go. You got sporting events at night. Weekends, people are always on a rush to tournaments, to family events and camping trips now. And we needed something like this in our community. And it's amazing that you were able to offer that and provide that. So thank you for that. I think it's great. And I definitely believe that if you are in need of this type of a service and need somebody to help take that meal planning and prepping off your hands, she is the one to do that because she's been in the food industry for a very long time. And she understands the flavors and the taste and creating it all from home and for what you need. It's not about getting rid of flavor. It's making it from scratch and from understanding what's in the ingredients and in the meal or the ingredients that are in your meal. I think that's really important.
And I have to put out there, it's not me that just does this.
Oh, correct. It's a team.
It's a team. And my team consists of my husband, who is also a fantastic cook. He prepares some of the meals also. My son works here also. He makes a lot of the sandwiches. He prepares the pizzas that I have and helps me put everything together when I need. Right. I mean, he all around is fantastic. And I also have 2 ladies that help me out at the front. And without all of us together, there's no way we could do this.
Right.
So, absolutely. But it's a great team, and I love. It was my dream to always work with my family, and I have that dream now. So I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can only grow from here, right? You can only expand. Yeah. So when you first opened, what were some of your primary foods that you had in your meals on the go?
Well, we still have them because they still continue to go. The garlic Alfredo with chicken and shrimp. I had one guy ask me if I could bring back the veggie one, so I'm going to be bringing back the veggie one. My husband makes the bomb beef tips, so we can't get rid of those because whenever I run out of them, people are always asking for them. We also do a mac and cheese. One's pulled pork, one's bacon and chicken. I mean, it's high in protein. The mac and cheese is the healthiest, but man, it's really good. And we make the sauces. We make the sauces in-house. Even like our vinaigrettes or dressings for our salads, we make those in-house also. I think that helps to bring out the flavor and all that. And apparently no baked cheesecakes.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yes, it is.
Yes, I was surprised how many people love them. I mean, I think they're fantastic. But I used to make actually cooked cheesecakes at my bar, and I did all different types of flavors, and they loved them here. So I really didn't know how the no bake would go over.
Right.
So thank you everybody who buys them. I appreciate it. And our soups are a huge seller too. My husband makes all the soups too, except for a few of the creamy. But yeah, the soups go over really well, especially when it was cold and everybody was sick. You couldn't keep chicken noodle in the
I bet.
on the shelf.
Well, even just like when their soup's homemade, the flavor of those it's uncomparable.
Yep.
You also do pizzas.
Yes.
Pizzas are a big thing, and you have the cauliflower crust, so that's a great option. For myself, my household, I love having that cauliflower crust option for my kids, and it's something that they can't really taste.
Funny thing is, this one you can, but it tastes really, really good. I was surprised because I was like, I got to try this before I sell it. It's delicious. And it's actually a little bit more filling than a flour crust.
It's probably because of the fiber, because as it's a vegetable has more fiber in it. And there's tons of different variations that you can create with a cauliflower crust. Now, do you sell the cauliflower crust just alone, or do you have pizza, or is it made with pizza? Or do you offer both?
I make a pizza with it. So I have a few different options for it. Sometimes, I try to have some in the cooler or in the freezer for people just to grab. But like the girl who gets the meals for her family, she just tells me what she wants on the pizza because her family is all different. And then I just make them how she wants them. So you can build your own pizza too. So if there's something you don't like, if you like a deluxe with cauliflower crust, but you don't like green peppers, you just ask for the green peppers off and we can, make your pizza the way you like it, which is a fantastic option because I'm picky.
Not me. Throw it all on there. So if you have any questions at all about what her services are, I'm going to have her information in the description below. I would highly recommend reaching out if you wanted help with meal planning, prepping. She's your gal, your go-to for that. We are also hosting a gut workshop here this coming week. And then following suit will be a nutrition workshop here where you will have that opportunity to also connect with Becky to create and build a meal plan for you and your family if you are living a busy lifestyle. But otherwise, yes, feel free to connect, reach out, all information in the description below. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a great day.